Hi everyone, I'm Grow Green Girl, and this is my first channeling in a long time, or at least the first channeling that I am recording. And as I sat down at my office here and I contemplated how I would get into the energy, I just noticed that all three of my cats have come in here, and for the first time, like ever, they're just sitting really quietly instead of fighting with each other. And it feels like I have these three little like guardians who came in to join me. So maybe that's my sign that I'm here and I'm ready. I don't feel ready. I came on actually to tell you that I have broken down and I'm done and I don't know what to do. Actually, that's not true. I know what to do and I'm fucking terrified of it. So that's the situation. So if you are feeling at all like you are lost, broken, good for you. That's probably a good sign and a good place to be, and where a lot of us are, because we are in the midst of a huge planetary shift. And I know I'm not the only one to say that. In fact, that is to me the greatest evidence and reassurance that I've had. And here's the flow is beginning. Thank you. Thank you. The greatest reassurance and uplifting exposure to the beautiful light and love of others that I have seen both in the digital space and in real life, that has told me, that has confirmed the feeling I have had for the longest time. Years in the making, this is, really. But that we are evolving as a species. And our role on this planet has been changing already for several years, really in stages. There has been a seed or two planted here and there over, I'm getting the past 40 years. Some people ask, like, are we in the age of Aquarius? Have we been in it? Are we about to enter it? Whatever you define that as, I feel like we are, it's not like a cutoff line or like a beginning, like a calendar date, but it feels almost like the way watercolor paint bleeds at the edges. It's like we're bleeding into the beginning of this era. There's overlap between the old world and the new. So if you call it Age of Aquarius, or a lot of people say fifth dimensional living, which I say a lot too, because it's a useful language for describing the distinction between how the old world operates and the new world operates. Even though I do feel we are going to be getting new language, new light language to use that will help us better understand what era we are in right now. But it's really hard because it means it's a lot of crazy energy and breaking down and feeling unsettled and unseated. And the thing is, how can we expect to build a new life if we don't make room in the old one? And I have known this, and I know it better than anyone. I should know it by now. Like, I feel like I've gone through so many soul deaths and reincarnations and evolutions of myself, and somehow every time it's still fucking terrifying. So don't beat yourself up if you are feeling that way at all. And my hope here is, with what I channel, and just a sharing of my experiences, that the tones of my voice are going to be the message that someone really specifically needed to hear. So, it's not going to be about getting the numbers on a channel. There are some channelers on YouTube I watch who have millions of views and some who have 27. And sometimes the ones who've had 27 are the ones that have hit me so hard they brought tears to my eyes, and I knew, like, you were talking to me. you brought that message in for me, and that, I think, is part of what is so cool in the beautiful side of these tools of technology that we have at our disposal, is that they are mediums for us to connect across the planet and be the exact frequency match that someone else needs in order to help their own ascension. And then they're going to be able to turn around and become the channel, maybe on a digital space or in real life, or in physical life, like around them, or both. And they're going to be passing it on to another group of people, who's going to be passing it on to another group of people, who's going to be translating and evolving that message and bringing it back to maybe the first group, who's going to be then evolving their own consciousness. So it's this just really beautiful web of interconnectivity. And that is what is grounding me as I go through personally what feels like ground zero reset. And I've known for a long time that I've needed to get back into a more overt healing role, but I went through a lot of personal shit. I had to grow a lot. I had to evolve the kind of person I was showing up as for others, heal a lot of trauma, a lot of codependency in myself, a lot of inner shame, and really fear of being seen. Even now, I feel super awkward. I've told myself I wanted to make videos, and it's really hard to come into this space because I just feel this terror that, I don't know, I'm exposing myself to attack or ridicule, or I don't know. I think that's part of it. It's an unknown fear. And I think that's kind of the point, is it's like the logical mind will come up with almost like any dramatic story it can to tell you to stop. And you have to thank the logical part of you, because it's done an amazing job at keeping you alive. So, you can give yourself a hug and say, thank you, left brain. Thank you, logical mind. I know what you've been trying to do. You're not evil. You're not my prison. You just have a particular role. And I want you to be able to rest now and step aside, because the future, even I'll say the present world that we're in, that is increasingly the one we are spending more of our energy, our time in, our focus and attention, is a world in which intuitive knowledge, heart knowledge, is the central tenet. It's the core of how that world functions and flows. It's not that logic doesn't have a place. It's that it's becoming secondary. So here's something to consider. Oftentimes when people say they made a decision based on logic, very often they're making a decision based on a previous bias they had. We all know, like, the term confirmation bias, right? You're going to go in with a belief you already have. You're going to look for the evidence in the environment that confirms it's true. And then you're going to justify whatever you're going to do based on that belief system. It works to a point until it doesn't work, because what does that do, right? It limits your thinking to whatever matches the experience of your beliefs, which might be based on past interactions, but they aren't necessarily based on the world of possibility. And we can get into the science behind quantum physics, like the concept that, all electrons observe in or, exist in a field that are sort of infinitely possible until you observe them and they break down to particles. I'm not a physicist, so I didn't say that right. I would love to learn more so I could come on to these videos and explain quantum physics to you, but I don't know that yet. So I would love to learn more so I can articulate that better. But the point being there, if you're a quantum physicist, please leave a comment and explain it in the comments. I would love to know. But the point being there is that there are really infinite possibilities out there for what you want your world to look like. And it is only when we give them our attention that we pull from that and actually create the reality that we're in. And that's really hard. Even though I know that, again, logical mind makes it really hard for me to break out of that limitation. So, case in point, I have a belief in me innately that offering, say, like my Reiki services is not going to be able to support me financially. What is that based on? It's kind of based on nothing, to be honest, because in the past, I'll say, okay, this is what it's based on. It's based on me in the past not believing in myself, despite the fact that I've had so many clients tell me they've had amazing healing experiences and they were so grateful to me. And I'm not trying to boast here. I'm just trying to say, like, like I'm offering something that has value to somebody, yet despite hearing that, I can't seem to have absorbed those feelings. I didn't absorb them in the past. So despite hearing those reassurances, like, yes, you have something you've offered me and I've appreciated it, I couldn't get beyond this blockage of saying, like, okay, let me push myself with conviction to offer this to a wider world. Let me go and reach out to a day spa and see if they'd like to hire me. Let me go and put a flyer up at the library to look for new clients, or, anything. I mean, I could have done a million things. And I plan on doing them this week, actually, to change that energy. But the point being is that past experience has given me still this blockage that I am working on redefining, that says that I am fully capable of offering something of value. It's up to the individual to decide. Who am I to tell them that their experience wasn't valuable? If they felt healed from it and they want to come back to me, then who am I to tell them, like, no, you didn't? Like, and it's like, I don't know. It's just funny how powerful that logical mind is. That even when I'm, say, and I'm using this again as an example, but when I'm in a session, my hands are on fire. I can feel the flow going through me. I'm getting images, I'm getting words, I'm getting phrases, I'm getting attention drawn to body parts that need, particular Reiki energy flowing through them. I'm getting all this information that is, again, validating that there's something really magical happening. And yet my logical mind goes like, well, you've got your mortgage coming up. Is that going to be as reliable as, say, like working in a corporation? And I don't know what to tell you, except I have reached a breaking point now, to circle all the way back to my ramble at the very beginning of this, where I don't fucking feel like corporations are safe anymore. Were they ever? Probably not. But how many of us were taught that this was the way to ensure a stable life? You get your benefits, you get your 401k, you get your health care, which I hate, by the way. That'll be a rant for the future, maybe. If I decide to get into that energy. I do not like the fact that so many people in this country don't leave jobs because they're afraid of losing health care. And it's like corporations have a stranglehold over people's access to health care. But that's a whole other topic. We won't get into that. Okay. What was I saying? Okay. Oh, stability in working in a corporation. Yes. So this is a belief that I had long held, and I think many people have held and maybe still hold, excuse me. Freudian slip, right? We all need healing. But that working in a corporation is the greatest guarantee of stability. But we've known, especially those of us who are millennials like me or Gen Z, and not only our generations, but I think we have experienced the most frequency with seeing recessions and like layoffs, and the idea of working for a company for 40 years who is going to reward your loyalty with like a pension and hold on to you and invest the time and energy and money in training you and helping you advance to whatever advancement means for you. I think I won't say it's non-existent, but it's super rare. There are some good companies out there. I think most companies these days, especially big ones, really struggle to have that kind of nurturing environment in the current system. And I know that's complex. I'm not an economist. I can't break all that down. It's something that I've just experienced and feel intuitively. Like kind of like how a good guy in a corrupt system will struggle to be good because the whole system is fighting against him. So, when the whole structure of a company is to answer to, say, shareholders and make them happy before you think of the health and integrity of the company you're running, the people working for you, the process by which you're creating things and the ethics behind that work and those sources of, how you're sourcing things, it's going to be near impossible to remain alive as a company unless you participate in things that feel icky. Okay, so this isn't like a, one side of the spectrum too, like politically. I think this is something everyone's participating in and everyone's struggling to find a way out of because we're all part of it. Like, nobody likes the fact that you could buy a really, really cheap piece of clothing from someone who is probably underpaid overseas, but no one can fucking afford to buy $40 t-shirts, or most people can't, and like feed your family and clothe them and survive without looking for the lowest dollar that you can pay, which inevitably means that companies are going to have to work hard to, keep the price points down and get the cheapest deal they can, cut corners on materials, force their workers to work to the bone for the least amount of pay possible to get the most hours out of them. It's just hard. It's hard to run things in an ethical, nurturing way. And that is why I feel it's like very important right now, if you have any urge at all to do healing work, energetic work, body work, anything, expressive work, the arts, anything that is channeling energy through you. It's so hypercritical for you to be embracing that side of you right now because the world needs it. These structures are crumbling. They're not working for a reason because they don't work, and we're not going to be able to go back to the way things were. And why would you want to? It's going to be interesting to continue to see how the planet evolves. And my, personal feelings aside for choices that have been made so far, I'll say on a national level, I think we're all in it together trying to understand who we want to be on an individual level and who we want to be as a nation and how we want to participate on the international stage. And I do feel ultimately that through all this crazy, we're moving towards becoming one interconnected planet. It actually feels really good. So I have to remind myself when I'm getting in my fear and my frustration, like, I see the vision of the new world, and it's so beautiful and it's so awesome. And it's not going to be anything like you think, because again, limitation of the mind. We're trying to solve for a future world with the minds that we currently have today. Our current viewpoints, our current limitations, our current mindsets are not going to have the capacity to solve for the problems of tomorrow or for the opportunities of tomorrow. So again, this is where it's really important to come back to our intuition. Feel into the world that you want to make. What does it feel like every day when you get up? Do you feel proud of the work you do? Or do you feel at least satisfaction? Do you feel like you've either, made $1 honestly, or made somebody's life a little brighter that day, or did something that like moved the needle towards a goal that you have? I mean, not everybody. I kind of hate this though, like hearing people like, you don't have to love your job. Like, if you like do your hobby for a living, you'll hate your hobby. That can be true, but I also feel like that's kind of a bullshit cop-out way to get people to not go after what they want. It's a really easy way to say, stay at this dead-end job where you hate your life to make $1 more for something you hate. Like, yeah, you can do that too, but are you going to get to the end of your life and be like, good thing I never went after my dreams? I don't think most of us are going to feel that way. So instead, why not go after the thing that feels good? And I'm telling you this because I'm telling me this. This is like what I'm leaning into here. So, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Is that the expression? I'm really tired. I bought a massage table. Ironically, I sold mine 2 years ago, but it's okay. It went to a good home. It went to like a nice family with like a grandma, and they had like an in-house massage therapist come in for her, and she was really sweet. I saw her when they came to pick it up. So it went to a good home. I'm really good at selling things and then later realizing I needed them. But anyway, I got a table. I have an adorable setup that currently 2 cats are sleeping on right now. And I'm going to be reaching out to places where I can offer Reiki. I've had some fun ideas for maybe seeing if at my local library I can offer it for free once a month for people in the community. That's another thing I think would be really satisfying. It took me a little time to kind of get out of my fear over making money. It was like every second of the day has to be geared towards getting $1. I need to be hustling. And yeah, now I just don't care about that. I think it's not that I don't want to make money. I do. And I think, as people who work with energy, we need to get over the feeling of not deserving to thrive and live abundantly, and to, accept an energetic exchange for what we offer, whether that's through money or through some other bartering or some other agreement. But I really have appreciated those people who have reminded me that getting out of the mindset of what can I get out of this is not only going to be better for the planet, but it actually invites in more abundance, because again, you're focused then on the passion of what you're doing rather than like, what's the outcome? How many dollars am I going to get from this? And to me, I'm really, really driven by the fact that I know so many people need healing, including myself. And if I can give someone who maybe couldn't afford a session or doesn't even know what it is, a little window of a feeling of relief or joy or going from here to here. And that might be something that becomes like a new pathway for them. Even if they never do another Reiki session again, I feel like I will have done so much to shift the energy of my immediate community. And that is really, really important to me, because when I moved here into my first house, I told myself that I really wanted to become invested in my community. And I feel like that's going to be another key component of the new world that we're building. Is it's very community based. And again, that's not going to be just, there's really very little that's going to look like our old definitions of things. So it's like I invite you to become loose with your ideas and your beliefs and even your definitions a little bit, okay? Words can be really incendiary. They can be really triggering. There's terms someone hears like capitalism, socialism, I don't even know what, isms. And they're like, I hate that. That's the thing that makes life terrible. But I do feel like the future of what we're going towards intuitively is dissolving the old definitions and creating things that maybe don't have a term yet because they haven't existed before this. Again, can't use the mind, gotta use the heart. So what heart-centered world do you want to make? I want to make one where people trust their neighbors, where people want to help each other out, and in doing so they feel supported and nurtured. So people are giving more because they feel they have more to give, because they feel less stressed and less put upon and burdened and less isolated by what they need. But that can look like so many things. And I mean, in some ways, like, it already exists. So again, it's not like we have to establish some alien way of being. It certainly can feel that way for many people who have never experienced a sense of community. And I understand that completely. I understand the feeling of isolation completely. But again, I invite you to just keep your heart open. That's something that I did moving into a community that was very unlike one I'd ever lived in before. And I prayed. I swear I put on my vision board like every single thing I wanted in this house. I like drew what the house looked like. I wanted to be brick. I wanted to have beautiful trees around it. I wanted to have great neighbors. I wanted to be in a safe neighborhood where I felt like I could establish almost what feels like a lighthouse, like a beacon for other people like me who were eager to do the work and the play, because it's not really work when you're having fun. It's more like play. They were eager to do the play of bringing more light into the world. And that is exactly what I got. I have great neighbors. The people I bought the house from are so kind. They're always offering, to lend me things for the yard if I need them, or to check in on me and like ask how I'm doing. Got people like across the street who share eggs from their chickens. One of my other neighbors mows my lawn and and so on. So I just feel like this is exactly what I asked for. And it didn't exactly come in the way I thought it would, but it's giving me hints of what community is going to look like. And for some people, they've had this already, so I'm happy for you. But I've moved around quite a bit. I've lived in a lot of apartments where people don't really talk to each other. Not that I've never had friends in apartments, but it was very rare. So I just feel really blessed right now to be in the situation I'm in. And this is why the timing feels right. as I said, to move forward in the kind of work that's going to be serving the community. So yeah, I can pull a few cards right now to close us out, but thank you for being here today. If you made it to the end of this ramble, bless you. Because, yeah, I'm definitely rusty at this, especially just talking into a camera. I really enjoy doing channeling sessions with my friends, because that shared energy, again, that collected, community energy, when two or more are gathered, it makes such a huge difference. But I think, tonight my cats kind of serve that purpose for me. So thank you, kitties. And yeah, let's pull some cards. I'm still getting my setup together, so it's like a little awkward because I have my mic here and I'm kind of shuffling to the side. Spirit, give me something for the collective who is watching this video. Ooh. Ooh, okay. I love this deck. Lioness, you've earned all your stripes. Okay. I've got 3 decks here, so I've got 2 more. Got my 2. Oh, okay, 2. We'll go with 2 since they fell. Yeah. Look at that. Share your voice. Come out of the cave. Persecution, expression. What have we been talking about? And the ever unfolding rose. This is the evolution I'm talking about. Cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. Yeah. So just remember, if things are like going sideways right now, that's okay. They're probably supposed to. Because you can't get anywhere without going somewhere. These cards are so smooth. I really like this deck though. It's called like Cosmic something or other. Ooh, I got 2 here too. Notice the pattern and slow down. Okay. Isn't these beautiful? Ooh. Look at the DNA helix in that. Yeah, I'll tell you, one thing I have been doing a lot more is meditating regularly. And I used to do meditations with music, but I've actually started trying meditations with just silence. And it's okay if that's hard for you, because it's hard for me too. When I first started meditating, it was a lot of like me, 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 me in my head. And it took me a good week or so to actually just have quiet space. I did also, whenever I meditate, I do Reiki on myself. So I think that helps. But regardless, one of the fastest ways to break the cycles you may be in is to get grounded in your body. Because remember, the changes that are happening are on an energetic level and a physical level. We are evolving and our bodies are shifting. That is part of it. So sleeping more, taking more walks. I spend a lot of time outside with my trees, talking to my trees, or sitting in my garden and just listening to the rustle of leaves, birds, just stillness, is going to do so much more to push you forward than writing down crazy bullet lists of actions you're going to take in ways you're going to conquer in strategy. Throw strategy out the window, okay? The only strategy you need right now is to get quiet so you can hear what is right here. And I know I'm being really urged to make like a triangle in this space. Hearing this is the radial power that comprises of 3 basic principles. Mind, spirit, and action. Spirit is the foundation. Mind is the integration. Action is the output. Okay. So the quiet stillness of meditation is the environment that is going to allow you to bring in the energetic changes to the spirit body that are in turn going to influence the perception of the mind body, and in turn guide the action you will take with the physical body. But they're showing me a cycle too, because it's like it doesn't end at that 1, 2, 3, because the body, in taking action to become still, feeds back into the cycle of allowing room for the spirit. So they're showing me, and my hands are like burning right now. So yeah, they're showing me that this triangle is like an endless cycle. It's like the, it's a triangle. It's not round, I know, but it's like kind of like, makes me think of like the Ouroboros. Like it's the snake eating its tail. It's like the endless spiral of creation. But it starts with your stillness. So I send you all this love and all this light, and I'm very excited to start doing this more regularly. I will hone what I'm doing so that maybe I'm less rambly, unless you love rambling, in which case I can do that forever. I'm great at it. But I will work on doing some more videos where I am more directly bringing in messages from spirit, kind of like I am now, because I spent a lot of this video bringing you me wisdom, but I also really want to be giving you more direct access to my guides. And if you're interested, I'll also do card readings. I've kind of evolved the way I read. I don't really have structure. I have a tarot decks I love, but I don't really do like formal spreads. I kind of just go where I'm guided. So yeah, I look forward to the next video. Thank you guys so much. I love you.